Hello folks, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here today. This is your one-stop shop for cryptocurrency analysis, among other things. Now what we're looking at here today is a really awesome one. We're looking at EOS. So get ready, buckle up, and we'll see what happens, right? We're going to take a look at the technical charts. There is no fundamentals here, so if you have information or insight regarding the fundamental data, please go ahead and comment down below. Also, bear in mind this is for educational purposes, right? There's no, this is not financial advice. So I'm just here to help you understand, make more of an informed decision. Always do your own research. What we do is we look at good entry points and obviously how to survive this type of climate based on Bitcoin kind of having a state of indecision. So all of that and more, we'll go ahead and get to that here in a moment. Also just note before we get to that, there is a link in the description below for Telegram in case you'd like to join our Telegram community. Really awesome group of folks there, as well as $25 in unclaimed Bitcoin from Voyager. Links also in the description below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. All right, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at EOS. And before we get started, I always like to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum first to see what the market's doing right now and to understand more specifically how that impacts the currency that we're analyzing. Okay, so we're going to look at that first, just get a baseline, and we'll dive deeper into the technical charts on EOS. Okay, so let's take a look here. So first thing I want to look at is Bitcoin, because this guy is the catalyst for all price movement in the market. Essentially helps us understand what's going on, because when Bitcoin does poorly, altcoins do as well, mostly because of indecision. People just feeling like, should I invest in this? I'm going to pull my money out. Is Bitcoin going to drop forever and we're going to lose all our money, right? That being said, it didn't drop forever, thankfully, but in the last 8 hours, it went down from about 58,000 to hit its low of about 52,000. But what's nice is the 50-day moving average is working as a support line right now. So it is bouncing off of that and essentially working out fairly well in that sense. And as you can see, the 50-day moving average is working as a pretty good support too. 100-day has a large variance, but it bounced off of that as well to touch its all-time, I wouldn't say all-time low, sorry, its most recent low of 53,000. That's a major support level that thankfully has been working pretty well lately. So it's still working in this channel, 57,000 to 53,300. Breaks above occasionally, but wants to stay below. So we're really hoping that Bitcoin can get above that 200-day moving average and stay above and just kind of go from there, right? That's the plan. But things don't always go the way we plan, right? Anyways, this is the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart for Ethereum. And as you can see here from before, this is the 17th of April, when Bitcoin took its first massive dump, and then it consolidated, ramped back up. Second major sell-off from Bitcoin on the 22nd, and then the third and final sell-off was the 25th, and ever since then, it's pretty much been balls to the wall for Ethereum. Now, it's changed because now that Bitcoin has a state of indecision right now, up, down between 57 and 53, we're seeing this happen right now. So it looks like Christmas, right? Because everybody wants to buy Ethereum, but then they're not sure based on Bitcoin losing price. It's just kind of a big balancing act, so you can see the price kind of hovering steady where it's at because of that fact. So once Bitcoin kind of does its thing, it's likely that Ethereum should continue to move upwards. But that's essentially that. That is, they hit its all-time high today of 36.05. That's roughly the highest for Ethereum. Okay, so let's take a look at EOS now. Main reason why we're here. And what I always do is I look at the 1-day chart first, work my way down to the 4-hour chart, and then 15-minute, possibly even 1 minute, depending on the price action. And just help you understand, what's a good entry point, best practice, things of that nature. Because I have been trading for a very long time, and originally started with futures and ETFs, did options for a short while, but this is where my passion is at. I can tell you that cryptocurrency is so much more fun than a stagnant, even though it can be highly volatile market. The 24 hours a day is just phenomenal. Anyways, enough about that. Here's the 1-day chart. Let's go ahead and just focus on this here for now. So for EOS, the 1-day chart is as follows. So first of all, just to quickly note, RSI is over 70. Big surprise with 2 super strong days here. And we can see the MACD is also shooting upwards as well. Okay, so this looks very similar to ONT that I just reviewed, because they've both been following very similar patterns. But this is nice too because you can see the massive volume here so far today, that's only going to last a little while. So I'd venture to guess that we're going to see a lot more volume moving forward because it is making higher highs right now. It's above the 50-day moving average presently, and they're all working as support lines for now, which is pretty standard when the price shoots up the way they did. So nothing really to note here on the one-day chart. Just generally speaking, the overall sentiment is that this is a bullish, it's extremely bullish right now, and the RSI is a little overextended, which makes sense why there's been a retracement. We'll look at that next. So 4-hour chart, big surprise, red bar followed by massive green bars. The RSI is over 70, of course, big surprise as well, pretty normal. Very similar to the one-day chart. What's nice is it's coming back down, so hopefully this can come down below and stay below for a while. So in order for us to probably see the price jump back up, we want to see the RSI kind of hovering just under 70. That's like a sweet spot. So that'd be the goal, is for that to happen. But not much else to really understand here. 50-day moving average will start making its way up, but the price action recently, I mean, it's the 4th. So 2 days ago, the price was at 623 and it went up 106% in 2 days. So it's pretty strong increase, right? So, I mean, if you're surprised to see this retrace, I'm not. It's pretty normal, very standard. And what we're hoping for is this retracement to not last super long, kind of work its way into a channel, if you will, and then blast off after that. That's the goal. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. So let's move on to the 15-minute chart. This is where all the magic happens, and this is kind of what we can see the most and understand what's going on. So something just to note, and I always like to point this out, is the RSI. We'll start with that first. RSI went up over 70 here. Even though the volume weighted average price was traveling close by, we didn't see a massive retracement. We saw consolidation instead. And that's likely when the bull run started, somewhere in this range here. Let's see that step up, consolidation, step up, consolidate, step up, and then retrace, and then consolidation. Now, keep in mind, Bitcoin kind of lost its bottom today, so in this range here, that's what pretty much happened. This is what caused this sell-off. I'm wondering what would have happened here if we didn't see Bitcoin drop down. It might have continued upwards, but I'm kind of glad it happened because, look, the RSI was up over 70 anyways, and what that did is that caused the massive retracement here from 1252 down to 1018. So kind of glad that happened because it kept the RSI at a minimum, kind of, you know, worked itself into this little range here, this little average true price, and I think we're in pretty good shape. The 50-day moving average is trending upwards, so be on the lookout to see how that reacts here soon. But the price is currently traveling under VWAP, which is this blue line here. That's the volume weighted average price, and that essentially just gives us a 24-hour moving, basically moving support and resistance level that is considered the average price over the last 24 hours, and it's reflective of the volume. Okay, that's what the price should be based on the amount of volume that's happening. So when this works as a, you know, right now it says a resistance line, we want to break above and confirm above before we take entry. Other than that, what else we want to probably look at would just be kind of some examples of how to approach the price action right now. Because with it being as overextended as it is, you know, it's up 120% roughly in the last 2 days. With that kind of growth, you can expect for consolidation periods to possibly last a little bit longer. I would venture to guess the price will continue to just average out for a while. It might come down and test the support levels, which, speaking of which, why don't we go ahead and see. First of all, there's no previous support, right? Okay, well, oh, I forgot to look at that. We haven't hit our all-time high yet. I know that was probably the ICO, but why don't we go ahead and mark that. So we're looking at, put that up there. Oh, come on. So potential resistance line at 1564. That could happen, but I want to mark a good support. It looks like this support line's hit twice, $8.67. That's more so the one I want to focus on because I'd be very surprised if the price shoots up to hit this resistance of 1567. It'd be more likely for the price to come down to, what was that line? Hold on. Oh, thanks a lot. Okay. delete it. I'll just mark it on the 15. So we're looking at 863. So we'll mark 863 on the 15-minute chart, as that was previously tested. So 863 is approximately right here. And this will probably be our support line. Okay. So, yeah, you can see it's tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So yeah, it's a pretty strong support. So if the price were to come down, right, if we were to see the price come down, we'd see it come all the way down to that line and likely test it. But since it was tested and broken, it was tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, that it's going to be working as a pretty strong support. So the first thing we want to pay attention to is how the price reacts to this 50-day moving average. If it hits that moving average and bounces off and stays above and continues to stay above, then that would be a good sign to possibly consider taking an entry. And when I say take entry, just take an entry of somewhere in the range of just say 20 to 30%. So say you had a $1,000 set aside to make some money here on a day trade or a short-term swing trade, you'd add maybe 200 or 300 and wait for further confirmation before you add to your position or sell once you get to your goal. The second thing to bear in mind would be to see how the price reacts to the VWAP. So that's the volume weighted average price here, this blue line here. If the price goes above that line and closes, just say no less than 3 15-minute green bars, then that would be a consideration also to take a position. And when I say no less than 3 instead of 2, if you're familiar with the channel, you always usually say 30-minute confirmation. 45 minutes in this case because of the price action and how volatile the price has been recently. So as you can see, 2 green bars doesn't always cut it, right? Even this one right there came back down. So there's no guarantee, it's not an exact science, but when the price action moves really fast, really quick, and you're trying to take entry, you have to wait longer for confirmation. So just bear that in mind as well when you're considering doing something of this sort. So I'd wait for one of two things, the support level here to be tested, or the price to break above VWAP. And the final one, of course, the third scenario would just be to wait for the price to come all the way down here. It may never do that, but if it does, it'll likely bounce off of 8, right around just say $8.77, $8.80, somewhere in that range, and do the same thing. Wait for confirmation, wait for at least 30 minutes, because by the time it gets there, it'll be calmed down a little more, and then take entry, take a smaller position, don't go all in, unless you know that EOS is the only thing you're ever going to own forever, and you just want to put that money in there and forget about it. That's the only time you want to take a full position, right? Take a small position first, and then kind of work with it. So that's kind of my recommendation there. So hopefully you did find this beneficial. I know I kind of explained a lot of stuff that may not seem relevant to you, but if you learn these little techniques, learn these concepts, they really help you a lot. I mean, my first few years of trading was tumultuous. It was terrible. Like I had 10, 15, 20% gains some days, and the next day I'd lose 30%. It was unreal. Now, that was in a traditional stock market. That was not cryptocurrency. You can lose 50 to 100% in a day if you're not careful. The bottom falls off of Bitcoin, everything goes to crap, you're out, you're done almost. You can pretty much count your balance goodbye. I don't want that for you. I want you to be healthy and happy and a good trader. So if you just exercise a little bit of patience and understand that this is not a sprint, it's a marathon, you're going to be a lot better off, right? You want to have small wins. I shoot for 1 to 3% per day for day trading, and maybe 3 to 6%, sometimes 10 depending on the market conditions, for a short-term swing trade. That's what I shoot for, and I'm happy with a 1% gain every day. That's fine by me, because I'm growing that wallet, and I'm also exponentially growing too, because you think about adding 1% to your portfolio every day, you're going to get there quick. Whatever goal you might be setting, as long as you have a decent foundation to start with, you're going to be getting there really fast. And it's okay to have a small balance at first, because you got to learn. You have less to learn, which is actually better, instead of more to lose. Anyways, sorry, I tend to ramble. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Really appreciate you. We'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a good day.